Hey friends, Ginger Dreads here, and we're back with another one. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Ginger Dreads, the sole creator of all the arts and whimsical nonsense on this channel. In this video, we are going to be painting a pleather wallet. The wallet is for yours truly, so there is absolutely nothing fancy going into this piece except for love and creativity. I bought this a while ago and had thrown it into a drawer because it was just a solid black piece, and I had wanted to create something on it but didn't know if I was even capable of. Well, I follow an artist on Instagram and I noticed that she paints on Louis Vuitton purses and Michael Kors purses and Doc Martens and you name it. I guarantee you she's probably painted on it. I'll link her channel or not her channel, sorry, but her Instagram for you guys so that you can go over to Instagram and follow her as well. She is freaking phenomenal. I think she's on Facebook a little bit more than Instagram. And for those of you guys that have Facebook, look her up over there as well, because once again, this lady will have you in awe. She paints on leather things or things of high expense value. I personally do not. So having this little cheapy wallet that I can promise you doesn't cost more than $10, I wanted to give it some pizzazz, make it mine. And so yeah, I've thrown it in a drawer and waited till 100 years later to decide it's the time now to paint it. I'm not using any specific paints. So like usually if I'm doing a piece that is going to be commissioned or put in my shop, I use Golden brand paints or the Liquitex it's the thick Liquitex professional one. I'll put a picture or a pop-up of that thing as well in the video. But that Liquitex and the Golden paints are the ones that I will use on a piece that I'm going to sell. Real quick, I like to say too is that if you're painting on real leather, I believe you have to use a brand of paint called Angela's paint. I'll link a pop-up in here as well, but don't quote me on that. In research that I did upon painting this wallet, that unfortunately was one of the things that was highly suggested, was using that Angela's paint. But again, we're painting on pleather, so wish us luck. If it's for myself, I use Arteza paints. I use the little cheapy tubes that you can get from Micheals. I don't give a shit what it is if I'm just going to be painting at the house. And I think it's for the fact that I'm still learning and experimenting. And so because I'm still learning, I don't want to learn with Golden paints, if I can just be honest. Okay, because they're like $30 for some of those fucking colors. And it's just not something I want to be learning with. But since I have the technique semi down to a science, at least for my comfortability, I don't mind buying cheapy paints and doing projects, because then I'm just practicing a blending technique. I'm just practicing depth or value or whatever it be. And so that's what we're doing on this little wallet right here. We're going to put 4 little mushrooms on here. These mushrooms are inspired by a Pinterest post. If I can find that Pinterest post, I will link it, because I like to give credit where credit is due. And I would have never thought to put stars as the buttons on my mushrooms, at least not like this. I have done like little plant buddies that have little stars or hearts or whatever, but to do it in this format, I'm going to say this is inspired. Like I said, I'll look for the piece if I can find it on Pinterest and share it as well. But when I seen the stars on the mushrooms, I thought, well, I'm going to add zodiac signs to those mushrooms because my family each has a separate zodiac sign. I'm going to paint 4 mushrooms. This might as well be a homage to my family. So I decided to call this wallet when 4 becomes 7. And in the next video that I put out, it's going to have the back half of this wallet. You're going to see as I'm painting on this wallet that the back half has already been started, and just that, it has already been started. But I started not liking it, and when I was flipping back and forth to do the wallet, idea popped into my head, and so I kind of redid the background on the other half and made them copacetic with each other, so that the wallet, when you flip it to either side, it's basically a set instead of 2 totally different themed wallets, if that makes sense. So it's going to be a simple little piece of just a few mushrooms. I took a minute to get art out to you guys just because of the fact that we have been having a ton of technical difficulties over here in Ginger Dreads world, and I have been pouting like a little baby ass. And so to actually get on here and do recording or making of the video, I wanted to be in a right state of mind so that I don't sound like a dead ass on this mic, or so that we don't just sit and complain, because that's not what you guys watch the channel for. And that is why it has took a moment for me to get anything out to you guys. I had a bunch of content on my phone. I think I have stated to you guys that I use my phone for my channel. So I use it to record and do all of that shit, right? Well, of course I do. I also use it for my personal life because it's my only freaking phone. And so when you use your phone for making videos and then you use your phone for your personal life, there is a lot of miscellaneous on that phone. And your girl over here went and deleted every bit of miscellaneous on that phone. So I had a crybaby week or 5, and it's been a moment. I can just say that. I have 0 content on my phone. I had like 4 videos in here that were already edited and ready to just be uploaded and have the description put in and all that good shit. But I didn't put them in the fucking YouTube queue because I don't trust any of the scheduling parts of these apps. And because I don't use the apps, I guess, to their full potential, I didn't upload them. So because I didn't upload them, those suckers went in the internet bye-bye world with all my other photos of all my other special stuff. That, do you see what I mean, you guys? I'm still sad. Okay, anyways. So this was absolutely a fun piece to create. I've never painted on pleather before, so that's something new for all of us that are watching. Maybe you guys have, though, and if you have and you have any tips, or if you notice I've done anything wrong, leave it in the comment below, please, because I would like to learn just as much as you guys. And so I washed it with alcohol, if you noticed in the beginning, but I didn't coat it, or I didn't put a layer of nothing over it. All I did was clean it with alcohol. The minute I cleaned it with alcohol, you didn't see me sketch on the mushrooms because obviously I deleted that with all the rest of the shit that got deleted in my world. And so that piece of the video somehow got deleted. The only reason why that you got the alcohol, I don't even know how. Don't even ask. The sketching part, though, I didn't add in the video, obviously, and so I just sketched them on direct pleather. I keep saying that this is pleather because I know that it is. I got it at Target, and your girl won't pay any kind of price other than like a $10 bill or something for a wallet, and it better not have even been $10 if I can be honest, because that is, yeah, we just don't do that. So we have this like pleather wallet here, and I decided I'm not going to add any kind of like matte varnish or anything first. I noticed some of the YouTubers that I watch, they add a matte something to the canvas or the canvas board, whatever it be that they're initiating a paint on. Okay, I'll give you an example. So I watched this channel by 1000, and he just did an art collab with, you know how he'll paint something and then he's going to mail it to another YouTuber, and they're going to paint something and mail it to another YouTuber. Well, when it got to one of the YouTubers, before they started laying their paint on the painting that had already been painted by like 6 other YouTubers, put a matte something over it. So I don't know if maybe I should have done that. I don't even know what the matte something is, though. Okay, and that's why I just know it's a matte something, because that's all I remember of what he called it, and I can't find that video. So or I haven't looked for it hard enough, to be honest. But anyways, so I just went, after cleaning it with the alcohol, sketched on the mushrooms. And then when you guys tuned in, it was when I started applying the background. You'll also notice that I just started applying the background directly to the pleather. So I guess I'm saying that because we don't know if this stuff's going to peel off, or if it's going to, yeah, we just don't know what's going to happen with this piece. And after I'm finished, so I'm working on the other side still in the process of me talking over this video. So when I get the other side finished, I'm going to do a complete matte varnish by Liquitex over the whole wallet. I'm wondering if that is what the artist that I'm referring to was using is a matte varnish, but I just don't know if you can paint acrylic over varnish finishes. Do you know what I mean? Because I know like you can paint oil over acrylic, but you can't paint acrylic over oil. So I don't know if the varnish has any kind of chemical in there that's going to make the acrylic not adhere to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Or I hope you guys know what I'm saying because I'm saying it. Anyways, yeah, so I'll finish the whole wallet by the next video, and then I'm going to do a matte varnish over it. You'll see that matte varnish being done in the video. They have a green label and an orange label on these Liquitex bottles that I'm specifically talking about, and that is a student grade and a professional grade. I used the gloss student grade one time. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest. I haven't used it anymore since I noticed that there was a professional and a student grade, only because again, if I'm going to use it, I'm usually using it on a piece that is going to go out into my shop, and I don't want to use student grade quality on shop pieces. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. So they have a bunch of quality of paints in this world, right? We all are aware of that. They have the Goldens, the Liquitex, the Apple Barrels, the Deco Arts. Okay, quality over quantity, my friend. That's something that we have been learning as I grow up in the painting world. If you're just practicing and you are a hobby artist, don't go out here and spend $30 on a fucking tube of paint, please. Don't. Just don't. If your paint starts drying out, if you don't use it enough, it's not worth spending that money on it, okay? And something I want to stress is I started learning off of 50-cent paints from Walmart, literally, or Target, wherever I could go to a quick craft store and get those little apple barrels and deco art paints that I'm talking about. I think there's another one, Craft Smart. All of those little cheap ass paints is how I learned how to paint. I didn't even know Golden existed. I didn't even care to look into it because I didn't know shit about painting, and I wanted to make sure that I just got the freaking technique down, I guess, that I even knew what I was doing or that I was even going to love it. So I had these cheapy ass paints and I was creating magic. Like, to me, everything I made was spectacular. Now, as I grew up and started doing art to where people wanted me to paint specific pieces for them, then I started noticing, like, I went and bought golden paints because I started watching a YouTuber that specifically talked about golden paints. So I wanted to see what's the hype about, you know what I mean? Okay, the hype is this. They have a different pigment than cheapy paints. That's clearly to be expected, correct? They also have a better finish. And when I say a better finish, sometimes with your apple barrels and your craft smarts, that shit looks like the glue or the whatever they put in there to make the paint didn't finish. And there's like little chunks of shit in there, or maybe the paint is old. It's been set on the shelf too long. The higher quality paint or the golden brand paint or that type of stuff, it does not have that problem. It actually, okay, it works like butter is all I can say. And I've tried the heavy body version of it, and I've tried the so there's fluid acrylic paint and heavy body acrylic paint, and that is what we are working with. So when I work with Golden, those are the two specific type of paints that I get from them. I really like the liquid because it is easier to blend and work with. However, the heavy body lasts longer to me, I feel. I don't go through it as much. But back to my quality over quantity. If you're doing this for a hobby or for yourself, go ahead and buy the cheaper stuff, because the only thing that you're really going to notice is that your pigment won't be the exact pigment as the golden pigment. Or you might have to put 4 coats of yellow because your yellow isn't opaque as my yellow, if that makes sense. So when you're doing your art for beginners, get beginner stuff. Now, you'll hear artists out here that are schooled. They're going to tell you that you need like good quality paintbrushes and you need good quality paint to learn. Okay, I agree with them in some bit of circumstances. As a person that hasn't been taught anything from a school, learning with those 50-cent paints just gives you the ability of learning. It gives you the muscle memory technique. It lets you see what blending is like. It gives you the ability to mix paints. They're not going to come out mixed all glamorous. Like, I'm just going to say this. If you buy apple barrel red, an apple barrel yellow, and an apple barrel blue, you are not going to make the colors that you would make if you bought a blue and red and a yellow from Golden. No, my friends, we're not. But again, we're only learning with the apple barrel paints. So, and if you're not selling this shit, please don't graduate unless you want to into the expensive paints. And my whole point is you can create the same art with the Target, Walmart, Micheals brand paint as somebody who's using the Golden paints, if that makes sense. You can create shit with those package of 40 Walmart paintbrushes that somebody's creating with the silver, I think it's called silver paintbrushes. Anyhow, there's like fucking really expensive paintbrushes out there. I've never in the history of Ginger Dreads Arts ever spent more than like $10 on a paintbrush. And the only reason why I spent $10 on a paintbrush is because I needed it to have a fat head on it. Like the little bristle part, I needed that part to be big. Yeah, just I don't want you to think that just because your art materials isn't quality or expensive that your art isn't going to come out beautiful. The only reason I suggest that you get the expensive brand paint for commissions, if you ever start doing that, is because you don't want someone to think your art is shit because the materials that you used might not have been up to par. Because what I will stress about the cheaper paints is they peel. Like they don't adhere as long. They are not going to stick to your surface. There's a lot of long term that goes with the cheapy paints, if that is making any sense to you guys. Okay, I rambled on about that a lot, but I just really wanted you guys to know that anybody out there can create the same art that I'm creating. It just might not have the same color exactly to mine. The only thing on this wallet that I used that was golden is the purple on the caps. Everything else on this wallet is done with like the little paints that you see on the side of my hand right there. So that's something that we'll show you. We're going to see how long this lasts. This is an experiment for us, I guess. So stick around for a future video to see if the wallet has started peeling, or if during every now and then when I have to wash it off or give it a little clean, if the paint job adheres and stuck around for the long haul of it. I can keep a wallet pretty long usually, so I'm hoping I can keep the paint job for as long as I can keep the wallet. Okay, my friends, I know I rambled on a lot in this video, but it's a simple video. It's a mushroom video. It's a zodiac sign video. It's an inspired art video. I want you guys to know that I'm inspired by other artists just as much as I want to inspire you guys. So know that when you get on Pinterest and you start seeing the things that tickle your fancy, paint that shit, even if you're painting it for yourself, because it's the freedom of creativity. Now, don't go and paint something from Pinterest and then try to sell it to anybody, because that could get you in a lot of trouble. But definitely, 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 if something inspires you on Pinterest, give it a shot, because that's the only way that we're going to learn, you guys. That's the only way that we're going to get better at it. And what better way to practice than to use something that inspires you, because then you're excited to create it, or you're excited to make it, or the excitement of that first time just makes you create absolute magic. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're always supposed to love stuff and create it from our heart. If it isn't something that you love, it isn't something that you do. So with all of that nonsense that has came out of the mouth today, I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I would like to thank you guys for following along. Thank you guys for your patience, for bearing with me on the, I guess, lack of content lately. But I did have a little sad moment that I had to shake off. And always remember that as well, my friends. When you're sad, go create, because that's why we have that wallet. is because I was so sad that everything got deleted. And the moment I felt eager or the drive to sit down, I created something. I didn't go and create commission work. I didn't go and create something for my shop. I created something that made me happy. So keep that in mind when you're feeling down, you guys. Remember to be kind to yourselves. Remember to be kind to each other. Thank you guys for doing all of the good stuff that comes along with following a YouTuber. I appreciate you as much as the next person does. Keep your paintbrushes to the canvas, because you know that that's the only way that we're going to get better. I'm going to show you guys some art of me when I first started and me today, comparing, like doing a before and after. You'll see what I mean by practice makes us better. I didn't even know how to do this stuff. I could barely paint a toenail. Remember that. And with that, my friends, well wishes to you and your loved ones as always. Stick around a few more seconds or a minute or two to see the final reveal of this half. And with that, my friends, until next time.